Welcome to the Robin Hood Raceway in Nottinghamshire, here in the UK, where this episode of RC Racing TV focuses upon the EFRA 110 four-wheel drive electric buggy European Championships. We'll be soaking up the sights and sounds and taking in the three deciding races which will determine who will be crowned champion. Plus, we'll take a look at the RC Hummer H2, which you can build and drive yourself with D'Agostini model space. But first, let's get a feel for the race and catch up on the hopeful teams, HB Racing.
It's always nice to when you know you have the speed.
The car is really good. It's really easy to drive and I can push a little bit harder right now. The car reacts differently from any other car on the market right now. With the center diff that we have, generates a lot of traction. So then you can adjust the center depending on the traction you need and also the steering, because thicker center diff also makes the car a little bit less nervous. I think it's one of the best cars on play for sure. Generates a lot of grip and traction, and it's also really easy to drive.
Yeah, you can see the car was really good in the main. Felt really good, and I could run it like super easy.
It's been a fantastic week. We've done bits with Dave and with Renault. Richard and Carl have both worked really hard with us, and we've all just improved and just slowly moved up and through the ranks.
Yeah, I think it's really important for a driver to know that you can push it to the limit and sometimes take some risks on the track.
I ask why you choose the D413?
Mainly just a pure strength, drivability of the car, the way it works. It's really easy to work on, it's really durable, and I know that no matter what happens out on track, it's going to come back in one piece.
Well, before the buzzer gets the four-wheel drive 110th EFRA Off-Road Euros for electrics underway, and our HB Europe, Team Durango and Team Orion coverage can start, let's take a look at the grid. Michael Olowski is on pole position from Neil Cragg in second, Jon Neumann in third. Lee Martin is in fourth position ahead of David Rannenfalk in fifth. Sixth, Martin Baer. Then it's Peter Pinish in seventh. Joseph Quagrain is in eighth in ninth, Renault Savoia, and Elliot Boots makes it 8 different nationalities in the final 10. So the pole sitter on the Schumacher from Poland. Olowski gets away and immediately is under pressure, but that's pretty decent. He's weathered the early storm. Always difficult to know just how quick to get away. Very technical circuit here at Redford, and the lead is gone. The lead is gone. Just what I was saying. Difficult to pace yourself on those opening laps. The driver's very complimentary about the circuit here at Redford, right in the middle of England, just off one of the main arterial roads, the A01, the Great North Road as it was known, and a very knowledgeable crowd here this weekend. So this is Jon Neumann from grid 3 who has taken the lead from Lee Martin in second. He's come up from grid 4. Rannenfalk in fourth position. Love that low sweeping camera on the far end, really giving us a good look at what's going on as they head through the far side of the circuit. This is very tight, very twisty, very demanding. As you can see, the surface has held up pretty well over the week of racing. The leader then getting away over the whoops. Got to get that right. Drivers on the stand there to the left of that picture. Up a decent height here, you get a really good view. What it does do, of course, is flattens out the bumps, and one or two of the drivers saying that was something that they did have to get used to, being able to just work out where they needed to put their machines on the undulations. Mixture of compacted dirt and carpet here, as you can see. As the leaders continue to lap this tight and demanding circuit. The areas on the outskirts of the circuit have held up pretty well as well. See, we have got some of the saucer curbs just to keep people away from the insides. This is very impressive indeed for Jon Neumann on the Serpent. He is the reigning champion, and with this kind of run you can see exactly why he picks up silverware with regularity. Lee Martin won the two-wheel drive event that we saw in the last series of the show. Lee Martin on the Como from the UK, of course. Third position at the moment, David Ronefalk on the HB. Ronefalk just looking to try and improve his position here. It's the usual script, best two of three legs for the final. 2 wins, of course, by any one driver, and they tend to drop out. That is what tradition dictates. The battle is for second at the moment. Jon Neumann has not been under pressure since he got through to the lead after that mistake by Michael Orlowski. Just watching here, there's a little issue there for second place runner Lee Martin, but no. Giacomo is running well. Have to be absolutely millimetre perfect here. I know it looks quite wide from that straight ahead shot, but the racing line is actually very, very tight here. It's quite difficult to pass. You've got to be absolutely sure that you're going to go through. Open wheel buggies, of course. Tangle wheels, you're going to turn yourself or your competitor over, and that will slow you both down, because the race director will not be having any RG, or if you will, bargy. And I think these two now, Martin in second place and Ronefalk in third, are just beginning to slow themselves up. The lap times would suggest that our leader, there he goes, is just backing his times off a little bit, but he's not being caught at the moment by second or third. But for me, perhaps fourth position at the moment is just closing in on them, and as I say that, of course, it drops back a little bit. So there is that battle for second and third. Lee Martin then, just for a moment, has got a tiny little bit of breathing space. And it's amazing just how that changes the way you look at what you're doing. If you can concentrate on going forward, it's much better than concentrating on defending. Last lap, and our leader, Jon Neumann on the Serpent, has gone through. On to the last lap now, just managed to get one more in before the time elapsed. So the battle for second has been race long, and it's Martin. Oh, and right at the end, would you believe it? Ronefalk flips it over. It will be from grid 4 then, from grid 3, excuse me, Jon Neumann, who takes the first leg from Lee Martin in second. Ronefalk holds on to third position ahead of the man who started from pole, Michael Orlowski.
Build and drive the ultimate off-road vehicle, the Hummer H1 remote control car. Go to modelspace.com now to discover how you can build and drive your very own all-terrain vehicle. Get your high-quality parts and step-by-step instructions to build the nitro-powered, radio control-ready Hummer H1. This iconic car is not available in stores, so go to modelspace.com now and get your exclusive offer today.
Well, don't go anywhere because we have the final two legs of the EFRA 110 four-wheel drive buggy Euros coming up right after this break. Welcome back to the Robin Hood Raceway here in the UK, and for the climax of this European Championship event, let's get over to John Hindhoff.
So the pole man with it all to do here. Michael Olowski needs a decent start. Messed up on the first lap, remember. Just pushed too hard towards the end of it. What he wants to do here is break the back of those around him, and he's trying to do that straight away, but is he pushing too hard? This was the danger area on the first lap of the first leg, but he's through it and immediately begins to pull away. He has been impressive here. Just 14 years old. What a prospect for the future. And he's really in company with some of the best in the business here. Exploding onto the scenes at this 110 four-wheel drive electric EFRA Euros. Our coverage coming to you with HB Europe, Team Durango and Team Orion. Marvellous stuff from the youngster already, having been pegged back though by the more experienced drivers behind him. Lap time's impressive. Young Olowski on the Schumacher then leading out. Second place is Neil Cragg from grid 2 on the Associated. Then in third place it's Neumann on the Serpent. Three different chassis manufacturers in the podium positions at the moment. Leg 2 of a possible 3. Best 2 legs of 3 to count, remember. Lowest scores are the best, just like in golf. So you get 1 point for first, 2 for second, knock the rest out yourself. And the lowest score will be our European champion for 2015. Big pressure for second, as just a little look at the inside by Jon Neumann there, but couldn't get through. Cragg now in that really difficult position where he's trying to attack and defend at the same time, having to do a little more defending than attacking, as Neumann just bangs wheels with him for a moment. And that looks like Ronefalk has come through. David Ronefalk on the HB through into third position. It's also given out pole sitter Michael Olowski just a moment to get away. Is that another change of position there into third? No, yeah, just amazing driving. This is a very tight circuit. Doesn't take up very much real estate, but it's a very technical and decent circuit. Very difficult to pass on. That would be my only slightly negative comment, but the guys have really enjoyed racing here. You've got to plan your overtaking manoeuvres, but as you can see, despite the fact that it's very twisty, it's still quite a high-speed track. Very cleverly done here at Retford in the middle of England. So the leader then, Olowski, not able to break the back of the guys behind them. He's still just one slight mistake, isn't he, from dropping back into the clutches of Neil Cragg in second place. And third position is that still Ronefalk? Neumann in fourth position, who won the first leg, of course, Jon Neumann. So 1 point to his name for that. He'll have expected to do a little bit better. Much better run for Michael Olowski, who finished down in fourth position in the first leg. Now beginning to have to take a bit of heat. As Neil Cragg on the Associated, the Brit, has closed behind the young Polish driver. Much faster heat, by the way, than the first one at the moment. These guys have really split the field behind them. This is very impressive driving. The top 4 are all still in with a shout here, but they are really pulling away from the rest of the field. And another burst of speed there on that last lap by Olowski has pulled away from Neil Cragg. Neil Cragg putting a bit of a challenge together just a lap or two before, but now has dropped away and left this young man in command of the second leg of the final here for the four-wheel drive 1/10 electrics, the EFRA European Championships here in the UK. Just a little bit of cloud coming over the sun for a moment as we head towards the closing stages. But Cragg comes again, somehow finds more pace. A cracking last lap from Neil Cragg and begins to put pressure on the youngster again. But this young man has ice in his veins as he starts the last lap now. And this is going to be a good couple of seconds quicker than the first heat. This has been outstanding driving by the Schumacher pilot, the young Paul. Michael Olowski is coming through with Neil Cragg in his wheel tracks. He's kept the best in Europe behind him here, and Olowski takes the second leg. Brilliant stuff from young Michael Olowski. Neil Cragg in second. Jon Neumann coming through into third there, ahead of David Ronnefalk right at the end, with Martin Beer in fifth position. Well, the third leg is required for the EFRA four-wheel drive 1/10 Electrics 2015. Permutations pretty much endless at the moment, but let's worry about that when we get closer to the end. The main protagonists are the man out in front now from pole position, Michael Olowski on the Schumacher. Neil Cragg still possibly with a chance, Jon Neumann as well, and Jon certainly in with a chance, having taken the first leg. David Ronnefalk, possibly not. And Lee Martin out of it after a bad result. Sixth position in the second leg. But at the moment, the man who qualified, the young man, the teenager who qualified on pole position, Michael Olowski, didn't have the best of runs in the first leg, only a fourth position. He'll want to forget that one, but a win in leg two has put him back into championship contention here at Retford in the middle of England, and he's stamping his authority on this one, isn't he? As the Schumacher driver has got the best of the rest of Europe. 8 different nationalities in the 10 driver final, and the young Paul leads out then from Neil Cragg in second position. Cragg's got only the best of a second position, so he has to win this to be in with any chance at all. Then it's Ronnefalk and Neumann battling away, and Neumann will be disappointed that Ronnefalk's got by him. Neumann started on grid 3. Ronnefalk, a perennially good starter, up from grid 5 to third position. I often think that if David Ronnefalk could qualify a bit better, you know, he'd probably do far better in terms of championship wins. It's not as if he's done badly down the years, but he just doesn't seem to be able to get it together. Often has to do a lot of hard work at the start of each leg. Very good in traffic though, Ronnefalk. Very aggressive and decisive overtaker. So here's the head of the field, and as we saw in the second leg, Olowski got off to a cracking start and looked to have broken away, but exactly as we saw in leg 2, Neil Cragg refuses to give up. And as the sun comes out from behind the clouds here at Retford, he's closed down on him, and all of a sudden we've got 4 battling for the lead. A small mistake here, and there is a small mistake. Third place goes over. That's a disaster. Big gap now between first and second, and the leader goes a little bit wide. Extraordinarily good save by the teenager as he lost all momentum. The buggy going sideways, didn't panic though. Managed to pick up the throttle just at the right time and hold on to that lead from Neil Cragg, who must smell a little bit of blood in the water now. Has to have a go, and that is where Cragg is good, and perhaps the leader is not so strong. Through to the all-important corner onto the faster part of the circuit. Cragg looking for a different line there. Cragg under pressure now. That's Jon Neumann in third position, who's coming through over the whoops. And Cragg doesn't need this. He wants to be absolutely focused on the lead, and he's got Jon Neumann starting to nibble away at his rear aerofoil. Well, for a moment he's dropped away, so again Cragg can concentrate then on the Schumacher ahead of him. Schumacher leads Associated from Serpent in third position. These were the top 3 qualifiers, and these guys are now battling for the European Championship. Olowski just holding his cool. Nothing phases this lad, nothing at all. qualified on pole, had an awful first lap of the first leg of the final. That would have done many people's heads in. Confidence could have been shot to pieces. Came back and won leg 2, and now is leading the best in Europe in leg 3. It's not as if, as I said, he's driven away. He gets exceptionally good starts. But Neil Cragg has pegged him back and is applying the pressure. At 14 years old, just how many years of competition lie ahead of Michael Olowski? And what can we see him do in the future? Oh, and Cragg's got over! Got a little bit of grip roll there. Just saw him going in the background. Fantastic piece of fielding by the marshal there. Runnerfault going over as well. And that has left our pole sitter, Michael Olowski, on the Schumacher, starting his last lap en route to a famous victory in the English Midlands. This 14-year-old will be, if he can complete this lap, the first Schumacher driver for a decade or so to take a European Championship. And I think the very first Polish driver to be crowned a European champion, and he comes through and wins it. We have a new champion, ladies and gentlemen, and there he is. Let's go and hear from him now.
Michael Olowski, European champion.
Hard work from Team Schumacher. So speechless. Big thanks to Trish for all the help. Big thanks to my family and Schumacher, Robin Schumacher, and Phil Booth, and everyone.
What can you explain how you feel at the moment? It might be difficult. How do you feel right now?
I don't know. My heart is beating so hard, and I don't know what to say.
You've just done another what you did in leg 2. 5 minutes of incredible driving, keeping the best off-road drivers in the world behind you on one of the best tracks we've ever raced on here in Europe. What a fantastic drive. You must be incredibly happy with what you've done.
Yes, I'm very happy. I'm very happy from the car. We didn't change it from a couple of last practice, so just I needed to fill the car and improve my driving, and that's what I do.
Well, Lee Martin finishing well off the podium. David Ronnenfalk in 4th position. It's Neil Cragg for Great Britain in 3rd. Jon Neumann in 2nd. And the first Polish European champion is Michael Olowski, 14 years old and a winner for Schumacher. What a future in RC racing for this young man.
Well, congratulations to Michael. That's all we've got time for this month, but don't forget to hop over to DRSCD Model Space to build yourself a cracking Hummer or even an RB7. And of course, go to www.rcracing.tv for all your RC action. And don't forget to like us on Facebook. That's the group RC Racing TV.